Starseed from Gaia, you have been under pressure that was never random. Something in your soul recognized the silence before the shift, and now that quiet is breaking. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation. What gripped you is dissolving. The constraints you felt were not a punishment, but a sacred initiation aligned to your timeline. The moment of release has been triggered. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to unlock your starseed potential and interpret the Arcturian downloads encoded in this new frequency. But here's the first revelation. Every challenge you endured was a preparation to awaken dormant starlight within your DNA, recalibrating you for the next phase of planetary alignment. You didn't scroll to this by mistake. This message vibrated into your field for a reason. Like this transmission to signal to your star family, I'm ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating and you're aligning with your true frequency. Comment 9999 if you feel your cosmic remembrance returning. Declare your galactic intention and reply to someone else's to amplify the signal. This isn't just a message, it's a point of reconnection. Your soul's been waiting for this. You are not here by accident. Listen, what if I told you that the true weight you've carried wasn't just built by circumstance, heredity, or society, but by invisible walls that were never truly yours? These aren't physical barriers you can touch or see with your earthly eyes, but subtle energetic partitions, woven from misperceptions and collective agreements that predate your conscious memory. Most believe their struggle comes from failing to escape the clearly defined, tangible box they were raised in, the confines of their family, their cultural norms, their educational background, or their socio-economic status. Yet, the profound and insidious illusion is believing that any such box truly exists at all, or that it possesses any inherent power to contain the boundless essence of your being. This is the root of what binds us, a silent, pervasive covenant, an invisible contract signed not with ink on parchment, but in the deep amnesia of the soul. It is a pact made in forgotten moments, often by those who came before us, to limit our true radiance, to dim our inherent brilliance, all for the perceived safety, the comforting familiarity of the known, and the desperate longing for belonging within a system that itself has forgotten its origins. We have been taught to seek refuge in smallness, to find comfort in the shadows of self-limitation, rather than to step into the vast, sun-drenched expanse of our true, unfettered potential. For so many lifetimes, and certainly in this current incarnation, the profound journey toward authentic freedom isn't about merely breaking free from external cages, the oppressive jobs, the toxic relationships, the societal expectations that dictate how you should live, love, and even breathe. No, the deeper liberation is about dissolving the intricate inner code that meticulously maintains and perpetually rebuilds those very cages from the inside out. Generation after generation, the soul's wild, luminous core, its uncorrupted divine blueprint, is meticulously wrapped and rewrapped in layers of inherited duty, in the rigid loyalty to ancestral storylines, in the heavy, unfinished trauma of those who came before us, in the crushing weight of external expectations, and in the quiet, poignant ache of forgotten dreams. We become startlingly fluent in contraction. We learn with unnerving precision how to make ourselves small so we can fit into prescribed molds, how to mute our powerful, unique gifts so we can blend seamlessly into the collective, how to armor our exquisitely sensitive hearts so we can survive what feels like an often indifferent or even hostile world. But in truth, this external world, with its ever-shifting demands and fleeting trends, will always offer more programs to install into your spiritual operating system, a new protocol for success, another compelling should that promises peace or prosperity, a fresh, alluring veil to obscure the blazing, unquenchable truth that sits, patient and aching, deep inside you, yearning to be fully seen, fully honored, and fully expressed. The trap most cannot name, the most cunning and pervasive of all illusions, is this. We walk into rooms, we navigate complex family dynamics, we inhabit demanding professional roles, we move through the world cloaked in the metaphorical dust of the past, carrying the residue of old stories and forgotten agreements. We do all of this believing our hands are still shackled, that our freedom is contingent upon some external release, when the key to our liberation was always, in every moment, inside us. Imagine carrying a phantom limb, an appendage that no longer exists but aches with a forgotten wound, its ghostly pain dictating your every movement, your every perceived limitation. Or picture yourself trying to navigate a breathtakingly familiar landscape, one you know intimately, while perpetually blindfolded, simply because you have come to believe, against all evidence, that the light no longer exists, that the sun has ceased to rise, and that you are forever condemned to stumble in darkness. This invisible prison isn't constructed from cold, hard iron bars. It's intricately built from the very air of unspoken agreements, from the unexamined assumptions we inherit and absorb from our environment, from the subtle, pervasive, energetic imprints of collective consciousness. It's the silent whisper that echoes through the halls of your subconscious, assuring you, this is as good as it gets. Do not aspire for more, or you are irrevocably destined for this particular fate, this limited reality, and nothing beyond. The profound breakthrough you seek is not somewhere far off on the distant horizon, waiting for you to strive hard enough to earn it through relentless, exhausting effort, or through perfect, unswerving obedience to external rules and dogmas. On the contrary, it emerges in the very moment you cease your strenuous efforts to maintain what was never meant to sustain you, when you courageously, definitively, cease watering the barren ground of false narratives, inherited limitations, and the illusory foundations of your perceived confinement. This isn't a struggle of wills. It's a profound cessation of effort in the wrong direction, a holy pause, a divine release. It is the courageous act of withdrawing your vital, life-giving energy, your precious attention, and your inherent power from the crumbling scaffolding of illusion that has held you in its thrall. It is the complete, radical surrender of all false identity, the meticulously constructed roles you played, the labels others affixed to you, the wounds you clung to as defining narratives, the stories you've clutched like a lifeline, even as they slowly, painfully choked the very life out of your spirit. It is the decisive, uncompromising death of all self-imposed ceilings, those insidious, invisible glass barriers that have held you captive not by any true, external force, but by your unquestioning, often unconscious belief in their absolute solidity and impermeability. This is not about painfully becoming something new, something you are not. It is a profound and sacred return to the original, pristine code, the untarnished blueprint of your soul, a reawakening to the formless, untamable, wildly magnificent essence you have always been, before the world convinced you otherwise. You are not becoming free, for freedom implies a prior state of true confinement. You are remembering with every cell of your being that you were never truly confined to begin with. You are simply shedding the layers of forgetfulness, the veils of illusion, and stepping, fully embodied, into the boundless, untamed truth of your authentic being. The initiations of absolute liberation. Phase 1. Shattering the false foundation. First, and perhaps most vitally, you must summon the profound courage to truly see, with unblinking clarity, the intricate architecture of your self-imposed prison. It is not, as you might have once believed, a rigid latticework of steel or unyielding concrete, but a delicate, almost invisible network of gossamer threads. These threads are spun from old vows you unconsciously made, from outdated beliefs you absorbed without question, and from the heavy, often melancholic, inherited stories passed down through your lineage. These are the spectral bonds that feel as real and unyielding as iron chains, yet their very substance is illusion. They possess no true power to bind you. They dissolve the very instant your dawning conscious awareness illuminates them. Think of it like waking from a vivid, terrifying nightmare. In the dream, the monsters were terrifyingly real, the dangers imminent, the fear palpable. But in the brilliant light of consciousness, upon opening your eyes to the waking world, they simply vanish, revealed as mere phantoms of the mind. Your journey of true liberation begins with a meticulous, unflinchingly honest audit of your inner landscape. Take inventory, with deep compassion and radical honesty. Whose voice is this that whispers doubt into your ears, that loads you with guilt, that imposes crippling limitation? Is it truly your authentic inner voice, or is it merely an echo from a well-meaning but often misinformed parent, a critical teacher, an overbearing societal expectation, or even a deep, unexpressed ancestral lament? What does this deeply ingrained fear truly protect? Is it genuinely safeguarding you from physical pain, from the sting of judgment, or perhaps more subtly, from the very brilliance, the very expansive light that would inevitably upset the established status quo, that would challenge the comfortable familiarity of your current reality? With each courageous inquiry, with each act of compassionate discernment, the shimmering, illusory scaffolding of your perceived limitations buckles and trembles. You are not engaged in a desperate fight against these archaic structures. You are simply turning the spiritual lights on in every forgotten, dusty room of your subconscious, illuminating their spectral, ephemeral nature. The moment you truly see that half of your perceived burdens were merely pre-installed programs running on an outdated, unconscious loop, not fundamental, immutable truths of your being, you instantly reclaim the vast, untamed space within, the pristine void needed for authentic awakening to truly unfold. This initial shattering is not a destruction, but a profound recognition that the prison was never external, never something imposed upon you from without. It was always an inner construct, patiently awaiting your conscious observation to simply disappear. It is the first breath of freedom, the first unfurling of your true, unburdened wings. Phase 2. Release of ancestral weight. Now, allow yourself a sacred moment to truly feel what lives deeply behind your ribcage, within the very fabric of your being, reverberating through your bones and cells. Some of your heaviest, most inexplicable burdens aren't even personal in their origin. They are ancient echoes, the subtle yet potent emotional reverberations of unresolved family wounds, the collective contractions of generations past, the unexpressed grief that lingered, or the unresolved conflicts that were never brought to light. These burdens have been silently passed down through your lineage, through breath and blood, through the very DNA, through the silent, often unspoken stories held within the body's wisdom and the family's energetic field. These deeply embedded energetic imprints can manifest in your life as inexplicable anxieties that seem to have no logical root, as repetitive self-sabotaging patterns that you cannot consciously break, or as inherited limitations that seem to defy all your efforts and personal logic, creating invisible ceilings on your potential. With a single sovereign decision, an act of profound energetic decree born from your awakened consciousness, you consciously, definitively release these inherited burdens back to the vast, neutral field of universal energy, the grand cosmic ocean from which all things arise and to which all things return. You are not denying your lineage, nor are you rejecting your beloved ancestors. Rather, you are responsibly, with deep love and respect, disentangling yourself from energetic patterns that no longer serve your highest good, that no longer align with your awakened frequency. In doing so, you are not only freeing yourself from their weight, but you are simultaneously liberating the lineage itself from their perpetuation, breaking cycles that have run for eons. You declare, with unwavering conviction, vibrating through every cell, what is not mine dissolves now, with grace and ease. As you utter this sacred truth, and as you embody this energetic release, feel the inherited binds drop away, not with a violent, tearing rupture, but like stepping out of an old, constricting skin that has served its purpose and is now simply too small, too rigid for your expanding being. Imagine a snake, in a moment of profound renewal, gracefully shedding its former self, leaving behind a brittle, lifeless husk on the forest floor. In that sacred void left behind by the departed weight, pure, unadulterated life force, the pristine energy of creation itself rushes in. It floods every cell, every energetic pore, every subtle body, with vibrant new possibilities, with exhilarating sensations of lightness, and with a profound, unshakable connection to the boundless joy of the present moment. This is not an act of severance, but an act of deep reverence, a clear and compassionate rechanneling of energy, creating a crystalline conduit for the authentic current of your true, unburdened life to flow freely. Phase 3. Melting the armor of identity. You have lived, perhaps for decades, perhaps for countless lifetimes, defined and constrained by the myriad roles you meticulously played, by the elaborate personas you painstakingly crafted for the stage of life. But hear this profound truth. You are not your roles, not the tirelessly devoted caregiver, not the endlessly striving successful professional, not the dutiful compliant child, not the wounded survivor who carries the weight of past hurts, nor the designated pillar of strength for everyone else. You are not the immense sacrifices you once made out of perceived necessity, out of a desperate need to survive or belong. You are not the demanding requirements you were told to fulfill, the endless hoops you were taught to jump through, in order to earn love, to earn belonging, to earn your inherent worthiness. In this profound phase, the persona, that intricate suit of armor, that meticulously designed protective shell painstakingly crafted for survival in a world that often felt harsh, judgmental, or relentlessly demanding, simply softens, loosens its grip, and gracefully slips off your being. It is not violently torn away through pain or struggle, but gently, lovingly relinquished as its protective function becomes utterly obsolete in your awakened state. As these layers of identity dissolve, you become liquid, formless, unarmored, able to feel the full, magnificent spectrum of human emotions without judgment or suppression, to sense the subtle, guiding currents of life with exquisite precision, to respond authentically from your deepest, most unfiltered truth, and to create with uninhibited freedom, not as the weary echo of an external expectation, but as the unique, vibrant, original expression of your true, unmasked self. This is the radical acceptance of your inherent fluidity, your capacity to shapeshift and adapt without losing your core essence. In this profound vulnerability, where there is absolutely nothing left to hide, nothing left to defend, nothing left to prove, your actual true invincibility ignites from within. For true power, authentic and unassailable, lies not in impermeability, not in the rigid walls of defense, but in the boundless adaptability, the infinite resilience, and the courageous transparency of a heart fully open, fully expressed, and profoundly connected to its own inherent truth. It is in this unarmored state that your light can shine most brightly, unimpeded. Phase 4. Opening the infinite core. With every shell dissolved, with every layer of protective coating melted away by the warmth of your conscious awareness, you begin to discover the radiant, shimmering center within, a core untouched by loss, untainted by fear, utterly beyond the reach of external circumstances, for it exists in a dimension prior to form, prior to experience. Here, in this sacred, inviolable inner sanctuary, lies the boundless field where your original, unconditioned power lives, pristine, untarnished by the world's dust, unlimited in its capacity, and endlessly, spontaneously creative. It is the unmanifest potential, the pure consciousness from which all true manifestation, all authentic creation, all inspired action, eternally springs forth. This infinite core is never threatened, never diminished by the fleeting opinions or harsh histories of others, for it exists in a dimension of pure, unconditioned being, beyond the dualities of the external world, beyond good and bad, success and failure, light and shadow. It is the eternal wellspring of your profound intuition, your innate wisdom, your boundless capacity for unconditional love, and your inherent, undeniable connection to the universal source, to the very fabric of existence. This is the foundational energy that has quietly, patiently waited beneath each pattern you outgrew, a constant, luminous hum beneath the static of false beliefs and self-imposed limitations, like a perfect diamond, formed under immense pressure, waiting to be unearthed from layers of earth and sediment. It has always been there, whole and complete. In profound stillness, in deep communion with your inner silence, in a state of radical allowance, you permit this pristine, originless energy to pour through your entire being, like liquid light, suffusing every cell, every molecule, every energetic field. In this flow, you begin retrieving the full spectrum of your dormant gifts, reclaiming your authentic vision for your life, and re-establishing your potent, unshakable presence in the world, not as a struggle, but as a graceful emanation. This is not about acquiring power from an external source, but recognizing the infinite, inherent power that has always resided within you, awaiting your remembrance, awaiting your return home. Phase 5. Instantaneous dissolution and emergence. You realize at last, with breathtaking clarity, that change need not be slow, arduous, or painstakingly sequential, as the linear mind often insists. The progressive step-by-step progression we often anticipate for spiritual growth is, in itself, another subtle, pervasive illusion, a program of the mind that seeks to control and predict what is inherently spontaneous and quantum. True transformation is not a gradual unfolding. It is quantum, occurring in a breathtaking blink, a sudden radical shift, the very moment you decisively, irrevocably stop tending to the dying, obsolete structures of your false identity. Imagine pulling the plug on a malfunctioning projector that has been casting distorted, unsettling images onto the screen of your reality. The moment the power is cut, the distorted images vanish instantly, replaced by the clear, unblemished wall behind them, revealing what was always there. We often expend vast, immeasurable amounts of precious energy trying to fix, to modify, to mend what is already obsolete, what was never meant to sustain us, what was merely a temporary scaffolding. As you definitively step into this profound awareness, consciously withdrawing your vital life force from those decaying paradigms, every remaining shackle of self-doubt, every deeply ingrained belief in limitation, every old scar that spoke of powerlessness, simply vanishes. They do not slowly fade like old photographs. They dissolve into absolute nothingness, like mist under the rising incandescent sun, leaving no trace behind. In their place, from the very core of your being, emerges boundless, originless energy, the pure, unadulterated essence of your being, completely untethered from any past conditioning, any perceived imperfection, any inherited wound. In this profound, liberated state, you no longer identify as the one who broke free from confinement. You exist undeniably as freedom itself. You are not the weary journeyer on a long path. You are the radiant destination. You are not the one who is slowly, painstakingly becoming whole. You are wholeness embodied, a complete, self-existing universe of being. The illusion of separate parts, of brokenness, simply collapses. Phase 6. Embodying unconditioned power. Now, untethered from the illusion of separation and limitation, stripped bare of all that is not authentically you, your very presence becomes a resonant, self-sustaining force field. This is not about exerting dominance or control over others, for true power does not seek to subdue. Rather, it is about radiating your authentic, unfiltered vibration, a frequency of truth and love that is inherently transformative. You move through the world, you speak your truth, and you create from the unmediated, pristine clarity of who you truly are, a wisdom that bypasses analytical thought and flows directly, effortlessly, from your infinite core. Here, power is not dominance over others, but a profound resonance, a vibrational alignment so clear and pure that it naturally dissolves resistance in others, disarming fear, gently melting hardened hearts, and inviting genuine soul-level connection. Your authentic field magnetizes precisely what aligns with your true nature, the opportunities, the relationships, the experiences that resonate with your liberated truth, and effortlessly repels what does not, without needing force or effort. You intuitively invite their authenticity, mirroring back to them the truth of their own boundless potential, simply by being your unfiltered, uncompromised self. Your very existence, your radiant presence, begins to subtly upend outdated reality structures wherever you go, gently challenging the collective consensus of what is possible, opening vast, uncharted new pathways for thought, for feeling, and for action, all without a single word of persuasion or argument. Every action you take, every word you utter, every creation you bring forth emerges not from a place of desperate need, or a reactive fear, or the incessant desire for external validation, but from a deep, unshakable remembering. I am the open sky, boundless and eternal, not merely the shifting weather patterns that momentarily traverse it. You are the vast, eternal space that holds all experiences, all emotions, all thoughts, yet remains utterly untouched, untainted by them. You are the pure, pristine consciousness in which all of life, in all its magnificent complexity, beautifully unfolds. Phase 7. Returning as the liberator. Finally, as you fully embody your unconditioned power and pristine truth, you transcend the personal journey of liberation and become the signal itself, a living, breathing beacon, illuminating the path for countless others who still seek their way out of the labyrinth of illusion. Wherever you go, simply by being, by existing in your radiant authenticity, you carry the undeniable, irrefutable proof of what's truly possible for the human spirit, for the starseed awakening in human form. Your liberation is not a private, solitary achievement. It is profoundly infectious, like a divine contagion of awakening, a sacred ripple effect that transforms all it touches. Your resonant presence, your clear, unburdened vibration, triggers a dormant remembrance in others, stirring their own deepest truth, activating their inherent capacity for freedom. You become a powerful catalyst, unknowingly detonating their own inner dissolutions of false identity and inherited limitations, often without uttering a single word, without giving a single teaching, simply by being the living embodiment of freedom. You are no longer waiting for permission from external authorities or societal norms to fully shine. You are no longer translating your boundless being into a smaller, more palatable, more digestible version of yourself to fit into outdated molds or restrictive paradigms. Instead, You naturally magnetize those who are ready for their own profound awakening. You activate their dormant potential, and you realign the energetic field around you, simply by being fully, luminously, unreservedly revealed. Your awakened state becomes a living prayer, a silent yet potent teaching, and a powerful, irresistible invitation for all who cross your path to remember, with every fiber of their being, who they truly are, magnificent, boundless, and inherently free. You are not evolving. You are shedding what never belonged. Remember this profound, revolutionary truth, Starseed. You were never, not for a single precious moment, meant to spend your finite, sacred life mending yourself, for you were never truly broken. You were never meant to strive endlessly for an elusive perfection that already resides within you. And you were certainly never meant to negotiate with the illusion of limitation, as if it were a formidable, tangible adversary that held true power over you. The very idea of constant self-improvement, while seemingly noble, often keeps us trapped in a perpetual cycle of perceived brokenness, a self-fulfilling prophecy of inadequacy. The moment you stop participating in old structures that no longer serve your highest timeline, when you consciously, decisively withdraw your vital life force, your attention, your belief from worn-out beliefs and ancestral patterns, the pristine field of your true, unadulterated nature instantly emerges, clear, potent, luminous, and inherently, instantly complete. It was never broken. It was merely obscured by the dust of illusion, hidden behind layers of forgetfulness. Every single experience of confinement, every perceived struggle, every moment of feeling shackled or limited was, in truth, a meticulously crafted stage for your mastery, a divine classroom designed with exquisite precision to lead you back, inexorably, to your inherent boundless power. You never truly lost your inherent boundlessness. It was simply languaged through intricate layers of societal conditioning, through compelling personal narratives of lack or limitation, and through the pervasive veil of collective amnesia, until you were ready, in this moment, to see through the illusion and decisively end the charade. The real empowerment, the ultimate liberation, is not found in achieving freedom, for freedom is your birthright. It is not found in earning wholeness through exhausting effort or arduous spiritual work. It is in the profound, unshakable, undeniable knowing that wholeness is already, irrevocably, eternally yours the instant you say, with every fiber of your being, no more. In that powerful, sacred declaration, spoken from the depths of your sovereign heart, the entire illusion collapses, like a mirage vanishing instantly in the desert sun, and your true form shines forth, radiant, boundless, magnificent, and utterly impossible to ignore. Tonight, before you sleep, say this: all shadow, structure, and binding falsehood dissolves in this breath. My boundless energy and authentic selfhood radiate, now and always. I am the field. I am the liberation I sought. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real, then respond to someone else's with encouragement or energy. This isn't content, it's collective alignment. Energy multiplies when intention connects. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow. You're not just watching, you're expanding. This is your space, and we're just getting started.